Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you for being here today. As always, if you are new here, please consider subscribing and liking this video. And for those of you who come back every week, I thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Before I get started on today's reading, I wanted to make a quick announcement. I'm super excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for over a year now and I never got around to it, but within the next 2 weeks, I will be offering room sprays in my Etsy shop. I don't really post my Etsy link anywhere in my description on any of my videos, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in there today if you guys want to go there and look around. And, I appreciate it. I thank you. If not, that's fine. But anyway, so I looked into making room sprays. It was a little over a year ago, and the process of making the base, okay, the base itself that you put the fragrance oil into, it kind of intimidated me a little bit because it takes such a long time to find your, I'll say, recipe, okay? I'll use the term recipe. It takes a while to find the right recipe for candles and for wax melts for you, okay? So what you use may not be what I use. Percentages might be completely different. The types of wax might be completely different. The wicks, all those things, right? So there's a somewhat of a general recipe that you're going to follow, and there's certain things that you need to do, but then everybody has their own little tweak on it for what works for them. And it takes a while, okay, to get to that point. And so when I looked into room sprays and I seen that there were 2 or 3 different ingredients that needed to be blended together, and percentages and this and that, it just intimidated me a little bit. And I thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a whole nother year of trying to create a base recipe for a room spray. So I backed out of it and I didn't do it. However, I did notice a while back that one of the companies that I used to purchase my supplies, the Flaming Candle Company, they now offer a pre-made base. You don't have to do anything. They take all the guesswork out of it. You just pour in a cup what you need. You measure what you need, and you add your fragrance oil. Yes, there's a percentage for fragrance oil. I think it's anywhere between 2 to 5 ounces of fragrance oil for whatever your amounts are that you're using. I'm going to be using 4-ounce amber jars. And we'll probably do 4 jars of each scent. I've got about 6 or 7 scents that I'm going to be offering these in, so I'm super excited to announce that. But like I said, I've got all new fragrances coming in for these. I eventually would like to have the same of everything in stock, so candle, wax melt, room spray, all available in the same scent. However, at this point in time, I can't do that, so what I ended up doing was buying new scents that I thought would be good for a room spray. So I have ordered Clean Air, Cucumber and Melon, Lavender and Eucalyptus, Rose and Eucalyptus, Ocean Mist, Baby Powder, and Yuzu and Satsuma. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's kind of like a citrusy orange tangerine type blend of fragrances. So that sounded really good, especially the Clean Air. I don't know, maybe the Clean Air and the Baby Powder would be kind of an interesting thing to mix up. So I'm going to be blending the Rose and the Eucalyptus as well as the Lavender and Eucalyptus. I'm buying Eucalyptus by itself, and I'm going to be blending it in those 2 florals separately, but with those 2 florals. So I don't know, I just think that I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like a room spray, you just want that nice clean, crisp type smell. So but yeah, so I'm super excited. I will post the link to my Etsy shop in the description box. Again, I probably will have these out in the shop in probably about 2 weeks. I'm thinking less than 2 weeks, but just to be on the safe side, at least 2 weeks. So and all new scents available, and who knows if there's a particular scent in there that I really, really, really like. I was able to pick that many fragrance oils because I only bought the small bottles. Making room spray requires a lot less fragrance oil than a candle or wax melt. So when I make wax melts, I use 15% fragrance oil. Candles, I use 10%. And room spray, I believe you can use recommended. It's recommended to keep it within 2 to 5%. So a lot less fragrance oil can be used. And so I was able to purchase more fragrances because I bought the much smaller bottles. That was the only reason why I could afford that many fragrances, because normally I buy the 16-ounce bottle, and that's even cutting it short. I could probably, in all honesty, I probably need 2 16-ounce bottles, and I try to make it work with one because oil is expensive. One thing that I have been absolutely determined to do is not raise my prices, and it's killing me. It's killing me. Just because of the prices of everything that I'm purchasing on my end are going up, right down to the shipping tape and the packing peanuts. Everything is going up. Wax has almost doubled. Fragrance oils have remained the same, but shipping's gone up too. So it's like, but I don't want to raise the prices any more than where they're at. Anyway, let me not go on there because I can go on for another hour, and you guys aren't here tonight about candles and wax melts. I just wanted to let you guys know about the room spray. I'm super excited about that. All right, so for tonight's video, well, before I even go there, I just want to, again, let you guys know that private readings are always available. All you have to do is email me. I will also have my email in the description box, and if you are interested, just email me. I will get back to you, and videos are done usually either... If I catch the email early, it can be done same day, but usually done the next day, the following day, and are done in the exact same setup as a regular weekly video, except when I post it to YouTube, I post it as a private video, and I send you the link directly. So nobody else can view it but you. All right, so today's reading is a requested video, and it is the case of Kaye Stewart. So this is 2 weeks now that we've talked about a person missing in New Zealand. So this is another New Zealand case, and tonight I'm going to desperately try to say New Zealand and not Australia like I did in the other video. I apologize. So we have a 62-year-old woman who went missing. No one has seen or heard from her since the day she went out for a walk. I'm going to go ahead and just read you the background, and of course, as usual, I'll have some pictures going up while I'm reading, and then we'll get right into the reading. All right, so Kaye Stewart was a 62-year-old woman who disappeared in 2005 in a forest walk area near New Zealand's capital city of Wellington. She had dropped off her adult daughter in town and driven to the Rimutaka Forest Park to go for a short walk. The park contains a number of well-maintained walking tracks ranging in length from under an hour to over a day. Stewart asked a park ranger in the car park area for a short walking track. He gave her directions, and she set out at about 10:45 a.m. along the walk, which should have taken under an hour to complete. At 1:15 p.m., she appeared at the doorstep of a small house in the forest, inhabited by a park ranger and his family. The house was not accessible by any of the walking tracks, and Stewart was now almost an hour overdue to pick up her daughter from town, but did not appear panicked. She simply asked for directions to the park's exit, and the ranger and his family gave directions to her involving walking down a gravel road back to the car park. Stewart walked off and has never been seen again. Stewart's daughter and another family member arrived at the park later that afternoon to search for her and saw a man leaving the car park on a quad bike, possibly towing a small trailer behind him. Despite extensive police investigations, this man has never been identified. Not a single trace of Kaye Stewart has ever been found, despite enormous searches. Police say that they don't understand how someone could become lost in such a well-maintained and signposted area. All right, so she goes on a walk. She drops her adult daughter off and does something in town, tries to fill in the time by taking a walk. Sounds like she may have gotten turned around or lost, but then again, they searched the area, and it was also a well-maintained trail, I guess, and by the sounds of that article, it's not typically an area that you would would get lost in. So very interesting. And then we also have the witness, or not the witness, I should say, but the daughter going back into the park to look for her mother when she didn't come and get her. I believe what did it say? There was a friend that took her there. Okay, Stewart's daughter and another family member arrived at the park later that afternoon to search for her and saw a man leaving the car park on a quad bike, possibly towing a small trailer behind him. That man has never been identified, so that is red flag number one there, given the situation that this is an area that you're most likely not going to get lost in. All right, so other than that, I don't really know anything about this case. I had never heard of this one before, actually, so let's just get right into it and see what comes out. First of all, I want to just ask, I want to pull a couple of cards of the Dark Mirror Oracle and see what comes out, and I want to ask if this is a case of, well, let me not start with this one. I want to ask if this is a case of, did she get lost? Was there an accident? Or is this something that involves foul play? So let's just ask that one right off the bat. Kaye Stewart. What happened? What happened that day, Kaye Stewart? What happened that day? Let's put in some reversals. Okay. What happened that day? Was this an accident? Is this an accident, or did somebody do something to you? Kaye Stewart. Kaye Stewart. All right, Two of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Eight of Swords. Seven of Wands. Damn. The Tower. The King of Wands reversed. All right, so okay, I think that we've got something nefarious going on here because we've got this tower over here. Okay, so that is an event. That's something. That is something that happened to her, and it was it can be devastating, and I think that it was devastating in this particular case. And then right next to that, right next to the tower, we have this King of Wands. If you guys can see it, we have the King of Wands reversed. Okay, so that's not Kaye. That's someone else, and it's right next to the event. So this is the whatever happened to Kaye. Whatever happened to Kaye, this is it. Okay, and we've got a man coming up, an older man. I would say kings are usually at least 40. At least I'd say minimum 40 and up. Okay, so someone at least in their 40s, a male, right next to the tower. That already is bringing another person into this. And then we have somewhat of a, I don't want to say a fight, but there was some interaction. We've got that Seven of Wands, and usually that's a defensive card, right? It's almost like he's on the attack. He's on the attack. So was she attacked? Okay. That's interesting. And then we have the Eight of Swords. Again, this makes me feel like this is definitely foul play because this is her unable to get out of this situation. All right. Now, I also feel like there is something going on about confusion. She may have gotten confused. She may have gotten turned around because we've got this Two of Pentacles reversed. And I feel like this is kind of a little bit lost. This is kind of a little bit turned around. And so I do feel like there was a little bit of something like that going on. She may have gotten turned around at one point, but then she runs into this King of Wands reversed, and then the Tower happens. Actually, I believe this happened, and then the Tower. All right, so this, then the Tower. There could have been an exchange between the two of them because of the Six of Pentacles. So This may not have been out of the blue an attack, okay? There may have been talking. He may have asked her for direct... I'm wondering if she asked this person. I'm wondering if... Okay, no, she did stop off at a house. It was park ranger's house, and she asked for directions. I'm almost wondering if she ran into someone else and she also stopped to ask them for directions as well, maybe to confirm. How many times have you, I mean, I know I've stopped and asked for directions of something and didn't really quite get it and have to turn around and stop and ask somebody else 5 minutes later, you know. So it's possible that she stopped at this house, got the first set of directions, started walking, maybe second guessed herself, which would be this, and the being lost part, and then sees someone else. I believe this is the person as well, all right? He could have been, yeah, okay. So sees someone else and then asks him for direction. They have an exchange of words, which is this. This is an exchange. It's a give and take. And then all goes awry. And, you know, she's all of a sudden, sometimes I take this as a literal card, you know, literally tied up, bound, blindfolded, you know, not able to escape the situation. Like, she was not able to get out of the situation. She had found herself in a situation where she just couldn't get away. And this card here, the Tower, it's just that just doesn't give me a good feeling. So interesting begin to the read. I'm actually going to keep those cards out. I don't usually use my regular Rider-Waite. I thought I would tonight. And so now I'm going to go into the Heaven and Earth, and I'm going to ask her to tell the story. All right, so Kaye Stewart. Tell us what happened that day. Tell us what happened that day. What happened after you left that house in the woods? What happened after you left that house in the woods? What happened if you left that house in the woods? What happened after you left that house in the woods? Tell us the story. Damn. Okay, so we've got the Eight of Wands, or the Eight of Swords again. Guys, one is reversed, one is upright. That doesn't give me a good feeling about the situation, okay? I don't believe that this is just about a person who got lost in the woods. Okay, first of all, they looked in that area. They did extensive searches. They didn't find her. And then we've got two cards from two different decks. The exact same card isn't the best card to pull when you're doing a reading like this. And it just makes me feel like there was a situation where she could have been taken, okay? Taken, like out of the park, okay? And was stuck and couldn't get out of that. Okay, what happened? The Queen of Wands. Okay, Queen of Wands. We've got a King of Wands. Is this a wife of this person? Was it a couple? Eight of Cups. Quite a few eights. Material gain. Nine of Pentacles. Five of Swords. Defeat. So on this end we have the Eight of Swords reversed, and on this end we have the Five of Swords reversed, and the word on the bottom of the card is actual defeat. And I feel like that is the story of what happened to Kaye. There was something was done to her, and she was not able to get out of the situation, okay? She was eventually defeated, okay? We've got another woman popping up. We've got the Queen of Wands, and I already have said that this King of Wands reversed is the person. I believe it's the person that she came in contact with. So now we've got possibly a couple, because I don't believe that it's Kaye. I mean, it could have been Kaye. It could be just her will to try to survive this situation, but just in the end was overcome, and she just could not. There was no way for her to fight back. And then we have walking away. So we have leaving, turning their back, walking away. This again makes me feel like she was walked away or taken away from that area. Okay, and that would make sense with the fact that extensive searches have been conducted and she hasn't been located. So I feel like she was taken away. However, I think that she's still outside. I think that she's still outside. She could be near water. She could be near mountains. I know that's a million places, but that's just, you know, I think she's still outside, but she's not in that area. Okay, she's not in that park. And it's reversed, so I think she was taken there against her will, and she was taken there by this person. Okay. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So we've got two females entering into this reading, the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is reversed. So I don't know. Let me ask. Who were these two females? Who are these two females? Who's the who's the Queen of Wands? Princess of Pentacles, daughter, Justice reversed. Interesting. All right. So that Queen of Wands, I believe, is Kaye then, because we've got mom, we've got daughter, and she was with her daughter that day. That would make sense. Mom and daughter. I think she's telling the story because I asked for her to tell the story. So we've got mom and daughter. Nine of Pentacles, and then Justice. I mean, the Justice is reversed because she hasn't had justice yet. They haven't been able to find her. The family doesn't even know what happened to her for sure. No one's been arrested in this case. The person that the daughter's seen leaving the park, he's never come forward, which is in and of itself a huge red flag for me. And so, that makes sense as to why the Justice card is coming out reversed. And we've got the Nine of Pentacles. That could also represent mom, as a matter of fact. Even though it's not, I'm not going by age here. The Nine of Pentacles could just, that's somebody who has accomplished things. That's success, okay? That's not necessarily abundantly, I would say financially, not a necessarily rich person per se, but this is a person who is rich, if you know what I mean, who views their own situation as being rich, very thankful for everything that she has worked very hard for everything that she has, so she's earned every single pentacle on the card. All right, just enjoys life and is very, very thankful and has a very gracious and a gratitude for all of these blessings in her life. And that to me represents her, and the fact that she's no longer here is why it's coming out reversed, because I don't believe that she's here on earth anymore. I think that she has passed on. And of course, that's just my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes. I always forget to say that, but I don't, with those Eight of Swords, I just have that feeling. So I believe that this is actually mom as well, and I don't think that, and I've said this in other videos before, I don't believe that a case has to be solved for a person to be at peace. I don't think that there's any kind of you know, oh, I can't, you know, have an afterlife or go to heaven or whatever it is that you guys believe in, if my case isn't solved. I don't believe that. I feel like we still want justice, right? We still want, especially if no one has found our body, our earthly body, we want we want our families to be, you know, to have closure. And I think that we obviously want to be found, and we want it to be known what happened to us. But at the same time, they have still peacefully crossed over, if that makes sense. So, but I believe that that's the situation that she's in right now. She is at peace. I think she has crossed over, but at the same time, she knows that this case has not been solved. There has not been true justice in this case yet. Okay? And they don't know where she's at. Her physical body, her earthly body. So I think that that is why it's coming out reversed. All right, so I do want to ask about the guy riding what was it? The quad bike. All right, so tell us about the guy in the quad bike, or on the quad bike. What's going on with the guy on the quad bike? Is this a person that is responsible? The guy on the quad bike. Mom, Empress, Ace of Swords. That Ace of Swords is almost like a yes for me. The guy on the quad bike. The guy on the quad bike. The Hangman. The Star. The King of Pentacles reversed. The Lovers. Why am I getting all these relationship cards and trust and all of that stuff? All right, so this reading is pretty much on the guy on the quad bike, but I think Kaye is really, really focused, because these cards are picking up Kaye's energy, and I think Kaye's energy is focused on her family. Less on the person responsible, more on her family, to be honest with you. I think that the Two of Cups, the Strength card, the Empress, all of those things are involving her family and her love for her family. Okay, the Strength card tells me that that was a relationship of mutual respect. Okay, loved each other, but there was also a friendship there. There was a mutual respect. And, you know, again, like I said, the love was there. She was a mother. She enjoyed being a mother. She loved it. All right. So that's why those are coming out. Does the man on the quad bike have something to do with it? I believe he does, because of the Ace of Swords. Okay. He was responsible for what happened. And it's unfortunate, because we've got it's upside down. It's a reversed one. But we've got the sword here doing what it's doing, okay, going through the crown, right next to the woman here, the Empress, wearing the crown. And so I feel like that is indication that this activity was done to her by this individual. Okay, I would say that sometimes swords represent a weapon. It can be all different types of weapons. This person could have had a gun. Well, I don't know, probably not a gun, because that would be loud, unless he had a silencer. And what would this person be out in the wood? I don't know. So I don't think in this situation it's a gun. So definitely could be a knife or something along those lines. However, if they had searched the area extensively, if something like that had been used, you would think that there would be blood or some form of evidence. So it may have been just an abduction, and, you know, whatever happened at a different location, which would mean that would explain all the lack of evidence. Again, we've got the stars, so this is kind of like, to me, it's underneath the Empress, and this represents hopes, dreams, opportunities, things like that. I feel like those things were, you know, she's saying that those things were taken away from her. She still had a lot of life to live, okay? Obviously, she had a grown daughter. I don't know if she had grandkids or anything like that at 62, possibly. But this is a woman, I think, who still had a lot of life left in her, and you know, that was taken away, right from underneath of her, and she didn't expect it. She didn't see it coming, and that's why I think that the Ace of Swords is reversed, because it was so out of the blue. It just came out of nowhere. The aces, you always notice that, not always, but in most of the cards, you'll see the aces have a hand, okay? And I always look at that hand as like literally from out of the blue, from out of nowhere. Just happened out of nowhere. It wasn't planned. It wasn't expected. Usually the aces are something good, right? It's something good that comes out of nowhere, a thought, an idea, you know, whatever, what happened, whatever happens, right? But when it's reversed, I kind of look at it in a different tone, a different way. And so I feel like it's the same thing. It's like whatever this incident was, whatever this exchange, okay, this communication, whatever happened, it happened out of the blue. She didn't expect this. She didn't expect this today. She completely expected to go out into the woods and have a nice leisurely walk and go back and pick up her daughter and go home and do her evening stuff. This was just, I think that she is still kind of, I don't want to say shocked, but still, it just wasn't expected, right? And then we've got the Four of Cups, and I think that that's a little bit of her, as well as the person that's responsible. I think this is representing both of them, and I feel like there is some regret for going out there that day on her end, right? And just the fact that her life was taken from her unexpectedly. She didn't see it coming. Neither did the family. And then I also think that this is the person that's responsible. So, you know, he's outside, right? That makes sense because we're talking about a park, all right? And he's just sitting there and he's up against a tree. He doesn't look like he's in the best of moods. This can sometimes be a stubborn type of card, not wanting... it's almost like that spoiled type of card where, you know, he's not happy with anything if he doesn't have what he wants. Even if something great and wonderful is right there in front of his face and it's being offered, he doesn't want that. He's just so into himself and into his mood that he just doesn't, you know, whatever. So that could be the type of person he is, okay? Unlike her, who is a very selfless person and a person who had a very, good, I think, relationship. She's coming up as a mom, right? A lot of good things as a mom and a lot of good things in a relationship. So this is a person who I think really had a mutual friendship, love, trust between her and her spouse, and enjoyed her time here on Earth. And this is the exact opposite of her, okay? So he is more of a pessimistic, never happy, never satisfied. Nothing is ever enough, okay? Even when he's given opportunities, he either takes them and he messes them up, or he just doesn't take them at all, okay? So that can kind of give us a little bit of an idea of his personality. And you know, I feel like this is also him, the King of Pentacles reversed. So he came up as the King of Wands, and he has come up as the King of Pentacles. But more importantly, he has come up in both of those as reversals. Okay, so it's almost like it's the negative side of the traits of those two kings. All right, and that kind of goes with that Four of Cups as well. That kind of, you know, just a negative person altogether. I would say that this is a negative person. This is probably someone who doesn't have a whole lot of friends, okay? This is someone who probably would prefer to be alone versus hang out with people. So a loner. I don't know what the community size is in this area, so I don't know if, you know, it's a small town where everybody knows everybody, or if it's a city and I don't know. So this is probably somebody who is an outdoor type of person because he's sitting outside. Okay, and just the fact that he's sitting, you can even look into that a little bit deeper and say, you know, this could be a somewhat of an inactive man, right? He might, I don't know what he was doing out in the woods, but You know, he was on a walking trail, so possibly, you know, possibly, but I don't know. He could have been up to no good that day and looking for a target, but I don't think so. I think that this was really, because of that ace, I think this was really impromptu and unplanned. Okay, and then we have the Hangman. So the Hangman is reversed as well. And again, I'm getting this, it takes me back to the Eight of Swords with the tying up. And that I don't like. I feel like it's possible that she was bound in some way, okay? She was tied up in some way. There's something going on with the clothes, right? Could he have removed her clothing? Possibly. He may have kept her clothing. I don't know, but I feel like there's something going on with the clothing, and she's also bound. All right, and then there's something up with the number 4, because I'm looking at his legs, and normally, I mean, I know his legs cross and it makes a number 4, but it doesn't really ever stick out at me. This time it is, so there's something there with the number 4. I don't know what is going on, but quad bike, number 4, quad bike. I'll be damn. Was she on the quad bike? Hold on a second. Oh shoot, hold on a second. Where is my article? Of course, when I'm okay, here we go. Don't even have it here. Hold on. Let me go back to. How did I lose my article? I want to. Okay, hold on. I got it. All right. All right, so Stewart's daughter and another family member arrived at the park later that afternoon to search for her and saw a man leaving the car park on a quad bike, possibly towing a small trailer behind him. Despite extensive police investigations, this man has never been identified. Possibly towing a small trailer behind him. That would explain the 4 in his legs and why I looked at it today, because I've seen this card a million times. Very seldom do I ever pay attention to that symbol, okay? So there's something here with the 4, the quad bike, and her being tied, all right? And if he was possibly towing a trailer, is it possible she could have been placed in a location where they wouldn't have seen her? Because I don't believe that she is in that area. Okay, she's outside, but she's not in that area. And then we have the 10 of Wands, oppression. Oppression. What is oppression? It's a heaviness. It's a burden, right? It's something heavy. Was something on her pressing her down? I feel like she's telling us the story. She's like, quad bike, we've got branches. We've got branches here, okay? We've got roots and things like that. And then we've got heaviness. We've also got sticks, outside stuff. I'm wondering if I wonder if there was any kind of lawn service or anything like that for the park. Could he have been, well, no, they would have identified him. It's almost like she was, that heaviness to me is sticking in my mind. It's almost like she was weighed down with something. Which is why it's coming out reversed. All right, can you tell us more about what happened after he took you out of the park? Are you still in the area? Are you still in the local area? Are you still in the local area? Judgment. I think she'll be found, to be honest with you. Well, you know, let me put it this way. I think there will be justice in some form, okay? This is just that. It's judgment, okay? That person's judgment day is also going to come. I hope that she is found. I pray that she is found for this family and for her. I pray that she is found. And this card gives me hope that that's going to happen someday, right? But this could also just simply be that this man has got his day coming, all right? We've got quite a few people down here, so it makes me, again, wonder if he has done this before, all right? That gives me a good feeling, but it also kind of has that little bit of, maybe this isn't something new. Maybe there's other victims, all right? We've got that red cross. So it kind of, and it also, again, it does, to me, it's another card that suggests that she is not on Earth anymore, okay? Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. All right, so where did you go? Where did he take you? Where did he take you? Ace of Cups, reversed. Look at all these aces coming out reversed. Three of Swords, heartbreak. All right, so we've got the Three of Swords and we've got heartbreak. Now, I don't know if she has any more children or if there's grandchildren, but this could definitely be her daughter, and her husband. Okay, so I don't know. Like I said, there could be more family, but they're absolutely devastated. This whole situation. And I feel like also that Judgment card, it kind of makes me feel like the family also feel in their heart of hearts that she is no longer here on Earth, and they are absolutely devastated. They are devastated. And that's the Ace of Cups as well. So it's almost like I'll ask a question about what happened, and she turns it to family. She turns it back to family. So her priority is more about her family than anything else. So it's almost like we gotta like dig through this and figure out what happened with this guy and what happened to her that day. And then we have this Knight of Swords. So again, I feel like this is a lot of times, you know, this is the fastest card in the deck. I always say that. But that horse represents something. That horse represents transportation, okay? Movement, fast movement. This happened fast. It was done and over with before she even knew what the hell hit her. And I believe that he then took her out of there. He took her out of there, and he took her out of there very quickly. All right, it happened. This whole thing happened quickly. All right, where did you go? Where did he take you after this? Where did he take you after leaving the park? Where did he take you? Ten of Pentacles, Four of Swords. We've got that 4 again. Damn, we've got the Tower again. 5 of Wands, Knight of Wands reversed. Okay, so we've got the Tower again, and although it does represent the whole thing in its entirety, I also have to wonder if it's not representing a foundation. So this man's home or some structure. All right. Yeah. So the Eight of Swords has come out twice. A lot of 4s, a lot of 8s, and the Tower has come out twice. Very seldom do I ever pull the Tower twice. Tower doesn't come out very often as it is, and when it comes out twice like this, it's kind of crazy. So I think that there's a house here, okay? And then we've got this keyhole. So when I ask what happened afterwards, where did he take her? Did he lock her in a room somewhere? Did he put her inside of a a shelter or something like that? Is there a house or some sort of makeshift shelter or structure that he used and put her in there and then locked her up for a while? Did he keep her? I mean, I'm getting all of these cards making me feel like, you know, obviously I feel like she has passed on. But this also makes me feel like, you know, she was held somewhere for a while as well, possibly. I mean, I guess she doesn't have to be alive, but I feel like he watches things too. He watches. I think that he was watching the search, because look at how this guy here is standing off to the side. I mean, it's kind of like you've got this keyhole, right? This doorway, and you're looking into the town or the city or whatever, and he's just kind of standing here in the dark, in the shadows, and he's looking. He's watching everything happen. And there's a couple of dogs here. He has 2 dogs with him. But it makes me feel like he, as far as she's concerned, he could have been watching her, keeping an eye on her. And I think that this is, like I said, this is after the incident. This is after the tower. This is whatever happened, whatever the tower was, after that happened. And he got her out of that park. I think that he could still have been able, he may have kept her and kept his eye on her for a while. And I think that he also watched the investigation. He followed it from a distance. He could have been watching them search. He could have been watching. It sounds creepy. It's giving me a creepy vibe with this card. And the 10 of Pentacles I've never looked at it in a creepy way before. But for whatever reason with this guy, it's creeping me out. It's an uneasy card just by the way he's standing in the dark and he's looking out and he's watching, and he's just like a creeper. Okay, so there's that. And then the 4 of Swords, again, she's laying down, right? She's laying down, but she's not laying outside. And I think that right now she is outside. So that again kind of makes me feel like she could have been held in a structure, okay? So maybe in his home or something. I don't know. He kept her there for a while. And I don't know if he did that because there were searches going on. But then again, I don't think that she was in that area. I don't know. There's just something creepy and off about it. And then the 5 of Swords, or the 5 of Wands. So this is one of those cards again that makes me feel like it's a possibility he's done this more than once. There's something wrong with him. Obviously, right? We know that. We don't need cards to tell us that. But there's something else going on here. There's something creepy about him that bothers me. I wonder if, like I said, I don't know the size of this town or city or whatever it is in New Zealand, but I'm wondering if this is a small enough town. Is there somebody in the community that just does give you that vibe, that gives you that uneasy vibe? He's a loner. He has an odd behavior. He could watch from a distance. It's that kind of a person. That kind of a person that just makes you feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's not a small town, because she obviously, I don't believe that she knew him and she came upon him. I think that it's possible she asked him for directions, and then it just went haywire after that. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is reversed. Again, this is anger. This is a person who also has anger problems. All right, and look at that. Look at all this anger. Look at this anger coming up in all 3 of these cards. We've got him, the Tower, the 5 of Wands. That's a lot of anger. This is a man who is just on the verge of blowing up at any given moment, which again just kind of makes me feel like, yeah, this probably wasn't the first time that this has happened. All right, that he has done something like this. All right, let me switch decks, and then I'm going to pull... Actually, hold on a second. Let me pull a couple of the Dark Mirror oracles on this guy. All right, so give us a little bit of an idea about this person. What are we dealing with here? What's going on? Peaceful among thorns. Okay, so peaceful among thorns. He's miserable, but he's also comfortable in that misery. And that peaceful among the thorns also gives me that blending in kind of feel. Like he's weird, he's off, there's something creepy about him, but he's also average enough to where, you know, he doesn't, like, you know, he looks, I would say, like a normal person. It's his behavior that makes him creepy, but his physical appearance to me is probably just a normal guy. All right, it's not until you've encountered him or interacted with him that you're gonna get that creepy vibe. All right, so she may not have thought anything of it when she seen this guy, you know, walking or doing whatever he was doing, but after maybe that exchange, that Six of Pentacles, then she may have been like, God, I wish I hadn't stopped. You know, I don't know. I don't even know if she had that much time to think about it, to be honest with you, because I feel like once that exchange happened, it was just boom, right after that. But this is kind of giving us a little insight on him. I won't cry for you. So this is obviously a person who's dealt with who knows what kind of childhood, but something with the eyes. Something with the eyes. Her eyes are bleeding, and I just got done talking about how he observes, he watches. There's something like a stalker or something. And then colorless angel. So lacks emotion, lacks feelings, anything. He just doesn't feel. He's just cold, disconnected from people. Queen of my world. Okay, narcissistic possibly. Obsession. He gets obsessed with things to the point to where he can't do anything else. This is a very obsessive man. Look at all the worms attacking the head. All right, so once, and look at how this person is staring off. All right, staring to the left. Looking towards the left can also represent past events. Okay, so there could have been something. I'm not a psychiatrist here, but it could have been something from his past that he's just never been able to, deal with or cope with. But it also makes me think of the watching, the eyes. He watches people. He watches, I think, information on the case. And potentially stalks people, but I don't think that that's what he was doing this day. I think that because this was a very random occurrence, like she just literally randomly decided to go to this park to waste some time or to kill some time, right? And was just going to take a walk. So unless he was out there targeting someone and she just happened to be the target and he was just willing to take anyone, I don't believe she was... this was not a planned thing. This was just impromptu. But he could have been out there with these types of motives himself, okay? He could have just been waiting on the right target or the right victim. But I feel like once I think that he does something, he's obsessed with it. There's some sort of obsession there. There's a weird obsession that's coming out. All right, so let's go ahead and try this deck here and see what other kind of information we can get on him, and then I'll go ahead and end the reading. But I do feel like this was foul play for sure. And I think that the quad bike, there's an importance of the quad bike. Page of Wands. Ten of Swords. Letting go. Death reversed. Wow. Strength card reversed. Look at that. It's an older lady jogging in a park. But it came out reversed. So this is definitely Kaye. Right? That strength. When I look at, usually to me the strength card doesn't always just represent strength. It definitely, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of things encompassed into one card. With this particular deck, I do think of physical strength. I think of physical health and shape, all right? So she may have very well have been a very physically active 62-year-old woman, okay? Took care of herself. I get that from this image. And this was, this was just something that she felt comfortable doing, and didn't feel at all like she was in any danger. I mean, there's not a care on her face, right? I mean, she's smiling, she's in a good mood. I don't know what's up with the color of the red and the orange. That could just represent her will and desire to live a full life. And her overall attitude, when I think of orange, I think of happiness and the sun, like the yellows and the oranges and things like that. So that could be just the colors that I think go with Kaye's personality as well. But it's reversed. And so again, it's like she happened, to me, this is her saying that I happened to just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And yes, death is right next to it. And the Ten of Swords is right next to that. And so that being reversed right next to these two cards, it's like her saying, that's what happened. That's what happened. We've got the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, I feel like, is the daughter again. And to me, when I see this particular card, this is a woman who's trying to perfect her skill. She's just in the learning stages. She's in the early stages of it, right? Maybe she's trying to control her lizards and she just doesn't have the hang of it. And so they're all over. They're crawling on her arm, crawling on her shoulder, her legs, they're behind her. And so she doesn't quite have a grasp of how to keep them in order. That's the way I look at this card. And so she's learning, right? She's learning. She'll get there eventually, but she's not quite there yet. So there's a little bit of trying to figure things out. And so it makes me think of the daughter just trying to figure things out, can't put the pieces of the puzzle quite together, has a little bit here, has a little bit there, because it's not necessarily a good facial expression. It's almost like it's not sadness. It's almost a little bit overwhelming of trying to figure these things out. And so I think this could very well be her daughter or her family, just trying to figure out what happened to her. It just doesn't make sense. Literally just went into the park for a walk, was supposed to be in there for a short time, never came out. What happened? What happened? Are we ever going to have answers? Are we ever going to be able to figure this out? I just can't make sense of it. That's what I feel like I'm getting from this particular card. And then we have the Death card. So I do feel like this is a transition. It's interesting, but I don't know how I feel about this statement, because I was just about ready to say it wasn't her time, because some could argue when it's your time, no matter the way out. I disagree. I feel like we all have, I don't think that we all have necessarily a date, right? There could be multiple exit dates, and situations happen, and we don't know when that date is going to come up, right? But I feel like there are, because of free will, and people can do things that you weren't planning or expecting to happen or shouldn't have happened. I feel like that there are times when it just wasn't our time and they went anyways, if that makes sense. I don't know. You guys can share your thoughts in the comment section, because I don't like to say, well, must have been their time. No, I don't think so. I don't think it was their time. I don't believe it was her time. I think that this card coming out reversed is saying it wasn't her time, but it's like she was forced to. She was forced to exit at this time, because that's what this person chose to do with his free will. He chose to end her life with his actions, okay? And it was just that's what it is. And not necessarily wanting to leave, though. I think that there was such she had such a full life and a personality that just was so full of wanting to enjoy every second of the day. And I feel like her family feels that as well. I feel like her family is just like, wow, this just wasn't supposed to happen like this. All right, so let me pull just a couple of more cards to see what the outcome. Okay, are you ever going to be found? Is this case ever going to have closure? Is the family ever going to have closure? This one came out. Oh, God, the stars reversed. And see, that makes me think back to that Judgment card again, because I felt like, you know, immediately when it came out, I thought, okay, good, Judgment. There's going to be some justice in this case somehow. However, we did have that Justice card come out reversed, and so now, and that Judgment card could very well have other meanings that I went over already with, but this to me makes me feel like I just don't want to end on this card, guys. I don't want to end on this one. The star reversed. So this time we've got 2 kids. So I don't know. I don't know if she had 1 kid. Maybe I don't know if she had 2. But there's 2 kids here in the boat, and it looks like she's spraying. Looks like she's spraying them with the water. She's in the pool. Or they're in the pool. She's having a good time. You know, there's a dog. This to me just is another example of her personality and her parenting. Very involved with the kids. Always doing things with them. And I think an outdoorsy type of person. I think she was very outdoorsy just because of everything that we've pulled. She's been outdoors. Granted, that could be the cards, but I feel like she's an outdoorsy type person. And I just feel like there's just this hurt. There's just this devastation. And then, you know, the 2 kids is actually making me think back to that 3 of Swords. And I said it could have been Kaye, the husband, and a child. If there's more than 1 child, I don't know. She could have 3 children. That could represent that. But there's 2 or 3 people here, right? Possibly more, but at least 2 or 3 people that are just absolutely devastated by this. It just robbed them of their mother and their wife. And so it's just I don't want to end on this card, though. One more, final card here. Final card to pull. Is there going to be justice in this case? Is there going to be justice in this case? 3 of Swords. Oh my God, this is not the endings that I like, but it's the endings nonetheless. So, hurt, devastation. I think it's going to be with this family for a very long time, unfortunately. And that Judgment card very well could be, like I said, him getting his judgment, the person who's responsible when his time comes. But that doesn't necessarily make the family feel like there's any closure here in this earthly space. I don't typically end my weekly readings with an oracle card, but I want to ask if there's one message that Kaye would like to share with her family. If there's a message here that Kaye would like to share with her family, just to kind of end the reading on a good note. I always fan these out. All right, Kaye, what would you like to tell your family? Right here it is. Well, we've got another 4. 4 of Ariel. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money. So, money aside, okay, this is a Pentacles, money aside, when you give, you also receive. She was definitely a giver, right? I had said from the get-go that she was a very gracious woman. She had gratitude for everything that she had in her life at that time. Things that she earned, things that she worked for. Just a person who loved life and every second of the day, right? That was her personality. And I believe that is her coming through and being resistant to change. And so I think that there's a little bit of a message about, you know, she understands that her family is devastated, right? But change does happen. It does happen. Sometimes it's miserable. Sometimes it's scary. It's uncomfortable. But it does happen, and you just have to try to continue to live your life as best as you can. I don't think that the family will ever be the way that they were. This is going to change them for the rest of their lives. It's a very interesting case to read on. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm not overly happy with some of the cards that came out, especially here at the end, but you know, all we can do is pray that, you know, Kaye is found, and that the daughter, and if there's a son or another daughter, and the father or the dad or the husband rather, that they can have some sort of closure at least, right? They can at least know where she is physically, and then try to pick up the pieces and move forward. It's hard to do that when you don't even have that much. So just, you know, sending out good thoughts and you know, prayers that they can at least have that much justice anyways. All right, guys, so I will be back in a couple of days. I'm going to try to get an extra video. It probably won't be more than just if I get an extra video in, it'll just be like one day this week, so I'm aiming for that. I have a lot of requested videos to get to, so I'm going to start hitting those and getting those done and up here. But I thank you guys if you've stayed this long. I thank you for hanging in there, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.